preparing, and it is live. Yay! Go ahead.
Hi, how are you, everyone? It is Wednesday, and you know what? It's beautiful out here in the Chicago area. It's a little bit cool this week, but you know what? It's nice. We were at the pool yesterday, even though it was a little cool. We kind of laid
Ooh.
out for a while. I couldn't go in the pool, it was too cold, but we have a great topic today. And it comes home to me because of my situation, and I finally got it after all these years of my doctors telling me what to do for water retention. I think it always kind of went right over my head. How you doing, Deb?
Well, I'm doing great, Lauren. I just want to say it is beautiful. And isn't it great that you've got a pool to go to? Because,
Yeah.
when you get that downtime, even if you get to sit by the pool for a few after you do your workout, because remember, guys, Lori is in there working out at the pool, which I'm so proud of you. But
Oh,
you know what? This whole everything we're talking about is like cracking the code. And, there's so many times I wish we could turn the clocks back and go back, back, back and know what we know now back then, because we
right.
would have been able to like eradicate and kind of just like, motor through some of these things better. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And, every we try to get so creative. And I think that honestly, not to pat us on the back, but I think we've really got some very interesting out there crazy ideas that we love to share. But we learn from it. And so Lori and I were talking on the phone, and she starts telling me about what she's going to share. And I was like, that is so darn interesting. I can relate to that. And I know a family member that has an issue that I'm going to talk to them about what you're doing. And so, anyways, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Lori, and say, this is a fun subject. And I can think a lot of people, I don't care how old or young you are, can relate to this. So
Right,
take it
right.
away.
We're going to talk about ways that you get rid of the water retention. I've had problems with water retention my whole life. And you know what? The doctors used to tell me and explain to me what happens. And what happens is, and I finally decided to look into it because my legs, with losing weight, my legs need to go down. They're carrying a lot of water weight. And so, this is how it starts for me. In the morning, I usually wake up and my legs are a little swollen, but not that much. Okay. But by the evening, they are so swollen. And what the doctor told me was the problem with the water weight is that when you're a diabetic, you have like nerve damage and your circulation doesn't work as well. And I'm sure people have heard of neuropathy. It's the same, it's the whole thing about the numbness and in your legs and your feet. So what's happening is the water's going down, but it's not coming back and coming out of you. So it is maybe, but at a slower pace than it normally does, which causes the swelling. And the swelling could interrupt so many things in your life. I mean, it is amazing. Your sleep could be, messed up because of it. You could be sluggish. You could just don't want to do anything. You feel lazy. Your legs hurt. So I got this idea, and why didn't I ever think of it before? Is I decided to take my smaller couch and I put pillows for my head, and then I took the big couch pillow and I cover that with a sheet and have it on the other side. And I have been sleeping with my legs up above my head, because that's what they say, it should be above your head. I don't know if you can see that. And
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing this for like maybe a few days, and you know what? I would get up and have to go to the bathroom. I have to do that anyway. When you get older, you have to go to the bathroom more in the middle of the night. But I'm going to the bathroom and I'm just going a lot. So I've been waking up in the morning and my legs look like normal people's legs. So it's like all this, I got this water to go out of my legs. And now it's filling up a little bit during the day, but not as much. I think because it's moving, it's getting used to moving in my legs. So, and I'm going to keep doing that. And I suggest for anybody that has issues like that to do that for a few hours during the day, or like I'm sleeping at night with it. But do it for a few hours. And you know what? Here I'm reading this stuff on this article that we got the information from, and it talks about sleeping with your legs up or having your legs up a few hours a day. And it explains about the whole thing about your water in your body is not circulating because of having some kind of disease or a problem with your legs. And so, like I said, I think what it's doing is it's promoting the water to go out of my legs. So it's getting used to doing that during the day. Does that make sense, Deb?
1,000%, Laura. And can I just piggyback on something here? Two things. You did that, which was great. Some people have those fancy bed things. Like I know my mother-in-law and father-in-law have it where like you can actually like elevate. And I think the reason they make those beds is probably here, this is the stuff that's all making sense, right?
Right.
So, right. And so if you can do that, or you can put some pillows or whatever, but I also want to, okay, so this is the human body, guys. We can talk about this stuff. Okay. You even said to me, Lori, that you were going to the bathroom better, but not just one way, your other is, you were getting constipated. Okay. So think about it. If the water is not going and circulating back through, I've read up on this before. That's a whole nother subject. And if you're not getting that water in the right areas in your colon, then you're not going to have that working properly. So then you're also going to feel more sluggish because that's not good, that. And then the other thing is it gets painful when you have water retention somewhere. Okay. I mean, if you ever have it in your hands, it gets, your fingers feel like harder. You can't move them as well. So if it's your legs, it's going to be harder on walking, so I mean, all this stuff just kind of like goes around in a circle,
Right. I have a neat fact to tell you guys. You would never think this because I do retain water so much. It stretches my shoes out because my feet get bigger. And so water's going out of my feet, my shoes are bigger. Isn't that funny how that works? You don't even think about it. So it's like, I have a pair of shoes that are kind of tight on me, but boy, when my feet are down, I'm able to get through those shoes like nothing. And yet I feel more comfortable with my feet. I don't feel like I'm walking on pillows. So for any of you guys that are out there, that have this problem, and like I said, it's very common with diabetics and, people that have neuropathy and that. And there's other problems too. I don't know if you know what lymphedema is. Do you know what that is, Abby?
I could never explain it, but I've heard of it, and I've heard of people who have dealt with that, but I don't know how to explain it.
We'll have to talk about that at another show, but that's another thing where people get water in their legs and they can't get it out. It just stays there. But I don't know what the remedy that they do for it. Well, we'll have to find out because that's an interesting topic too.
Can we also talk about this for a second? I know you and I kind of went through this and stuff, and we sort of said this, and we said it with a question, is if that water is like staying there, what could happen? Could it be a little toxic maybe, could it be a problem? Could it cause other issues? That's definitely, then your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your liver is supposed to cleanse, your kidneys are supposed to, so if they're not functioning right, then wouldn't that be a possible not high functioning kidney issue?
Oh, correct. And, and another thing too is, for example, in my case, I have what they call a fatty liver. And because of what's happening is all the fat around in the water not circulating. Now, everything makes sense to me. Why didn't it make sense to me when the doctors told me years ago? I guess I wasn't ready to listen to it.
Okay. Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, here's the thing. I'm just going to say to you that you and I keep saying, this is it. We're all talking about the fact that, we have to be our own advocate, but we also have to listen. We have to listen to our bodies, but we have to be our own advocate. And if a doctor tells us to do something and we try it and it doesn't work, or we don't like what they're saying, we may need to switch doctors. Okay. But you found doctors that you trust, and now you're implementing this. And we were like, oh man, if we could have only done this before, but the good news is you figured it out. So it's good, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's good. Even in going into the same kind of a concept, but I have to bring it up is, a lot of people want to know how I lost the weight. Well, you know what? I want to tell you, most of the reason why I lost the weight is because I went to doctors that tried to figure out what was going on. And they changed my medications around and gave me some other ideas. And so that's how the weight is coming off. And I hope it continues. I did not have the weight loss surgery, in case anybody wants to know. No, I had a weight doctor help me with trying to get my medications worked out. Because that was another thing that I listened to this morning on a YouTube thing, what Deb was, they were talking medications can cause you to have these water issues. There's a lot of them. And, you know, you could, again, you could ask your pharmacist. You know, sometimes I just wonder because if you have a lot of issues going on, you know, you have different doctors that are giving you prescriptions for stuff, and the pharmacy usually catches it. But, you know, you take one medication because you got to take that medication, you got to take another medication. It's just crazy. But again, one of the, you know what number one water gaining medicine is? And the only reason why I caught it, because I take it, is gabapentin. Oh, it's a nerve blocker. And they used to give it to, well, they still do give it for people for seizures. But the thing is that it gives you water retention. So you need to talk to your doctor about it. Like Debbie said, we have to be advocates for ourselves.
I didn't know that. I'm writing this down because I know somebody. I don't even know how to spell it, but water retention. Okay, thanks. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and it's just, it says here, these are the things that could cause water retention. Diabetes, we talked about that. Cancer. Debbie, you could talk about this one. Pregnancy. What's the thing? We were just talking about that this morning.
We were just, and no, I'm not pregnant. So just a joke. So no, what my daughter, I know a lot of people have had like preeclampsia where they have weight gain during pregnancy. And, you know, sometimes it's the tiniest person that you see that got pregnant and didn't even gain a lot of weight. It just happens to happen to them. I've known people who have had pregnancies who've had it, and then the next pregnancy, they don't have it. But that weight gain, severely pregnant or not, raises your blood pressure. So this is a huge issue, you guys. I mean, if you are a person, you gotta see, here's the thing. We've said this 100 times, and I can't get it in my head enough, and I can't say it enough, that things all like bounce off of each other. So the thing is that trying to be the best version of yourself is sometimes difficult. Okay, but yet smart and easy in the same sense, because if you clean up yourself in the best that you can, you eat well and follow a good regime and find a doctor like Lori found, especially with the weight loss one. So you're actually having, or a nutritionist, you have somebody working with that. But all these little things along the way that they can cause so many others. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm retaining water. And then you start taking blood pressure medicine, and then you're taking this, and then it's the same thing Laura just went back to a couple seconds ago, all these side effects. And, you know, if you've listened to both of us speak a lot in the last like 6, 8 to 10 months, we're talking about other ways to get off medication. Okay. Don't always do it yourself. You got to do it a doctor, but there are alternative ways, and there are natural remedies, and there are different things that you can do, but it takes work. You can't just go, oh, I'm just gonna keep doing this because that's what they're telling me to do. No, because like it's just some stuff can be toxic to you, and some stuff you have to do. Okay, so we're not here to judge or say what has to or should not be done. But Lori, isn't it true that through this whole time that you've been doing this, and this whole health thing, your diabetes, your numbers in there have gone down? And
oh yeah, it's crazy. My A1C was 5.8, which is great. I mean, I could go a couple of points down, a half a points down. It's just, that's great. And the doctor was pleased, but it's because of the whole fact, again, with my medications being right, me eating right, me having, drinking water. And getting back to water now, we're talking about water weight, okay, retention. Now, people think that if the more you drink, the more you're going to get to hang on to water in your body. And that's not true. Well, the more you drink, the better it is because your body is flushing out that water, flushing all the toxins. Debbie, you are so good at drinking water. What kind of tips could you give people on that?
Well, you know what? You know what I love, and everybody thinks I'm so crazy, but I've got my water in here. But you know what I put in here? I don't know if you guys know that pineapples are a very good diuretic. So I put so we do a lot of fresh fruits. So I throw pineapple, I throw basil, I throw mint, I throw lemon, lime. Those are good to do. And mix it in there, and it's so flavorful. And then I just drink it all day long, and I just keep drinking it, drinking it, drinking it. And then we keep water. I mean, whenever we're leaving the house, seriously, if we're going somewhere, we throw a cooler in the car with the ice and water, an ice pick and some water, because then we have it. You're not going and trying to grab something else. I'm not perfect, but I definitely like my coffee, but there is some water in my coffee. But no, and then there also, did you know that, Lori, and we were talking a little this, there's some teas out there, okay? And we did a whole segment on tea one time. And all these ones that we do, you guys, are all saved. They're all there. You can always go back to them. You can search for them. But we did one on tea, and dandelion tea, okay? And there's a couple other ones are really good for, water, to, help you to alleviate water retention. And if you like tea, you could drink it hot or you could drink it cold, so.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. It even says caffeine supplements can help with water retention, which I would have never. Cutting down your carbs, okay? Everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
And, drinking more water, we just talked about that. And what's the biggest one, you guys? Stress level should be down. Right. That is the hardest thing to do. How about for you, Deb?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely, stress levels is huge, and that makes it. But I also want to say something we were talking about earlier that we forgot to kind of say, is that there's the restless leg syndrome, there's neuropathy, there's all these different things, right? But they all kind of are in the same category. And when you have any of that going on, and you're not able to, and you're having pain with the water retention because you're laying down flat. And now that if you're laying up with your legs up, and so now you're having that pressure is now released or whatever. You want to do all that full circle because you want to get the best night's sleep you can, because there's a problem out there with a lot of people. People are not sleeping the way they should. And again, here, let's circle this around. When you're sleeping, your body is rejuvenating, and there's certain things, Lori, there's one chemical you were telling me that actually gets released. I forgot what it was. What was that chemical? You mentioned it earlier.
Now let me bring it up. There is, it's called Vaspressin, VASOPRESSIN. It promotes water retention. And your sleep is interrupted or cut short, and this is what causes the problem. Let me tell you the name again: Vaspressin. Like I said, VASOPRESSIN.
Okay. And is that you're having that happen because you're not sleeping enough? Is that how it's?
It just, because you're not sleeping enough, this is causing all this problem. Because here's the thing, how does sleep affect water retention?
Okay. So the thing is that your immune system is building back up when you're sleeping.
Right.
Okay. And when you're sleeping, it's like you're in a rejuvenation process. And so are people that are having a really difficult time sleeping, and I know we talked about just these REM patches. These are amazing. Okay. So this is sleep like never before, but it doesn't mean that you pop it on. And if anybody wants to know more about them, you can get a hold of me or Lori. The thing is that it's not like you're going to pop one on and you're going to sleep instantaneously 8 hours in an evening. It may take a little bit of time of wearing them, and then all of a sudden it clicks in. And we've got stories on top of stories, and we have testimonials we could always send you. But here's the whole key. If you're not sleeping well, it doesn't do you good. And so if everything, again, is all wrapped together, it's all, and this is us talking about trying to be the best version of yourself as we're aging, okay, and people are listening to this that are younger, so they can still have these issues too. But like as a whole, as you get older, these are things that people are going to face more often. Okay,
Right.
I guess I want to say it. So that's why we chose like to talk about it, because we usually try to nail something that we've seen happen.
Well,
So
think about it. How much money is people spending a year on stuff to go to sleep?
oh my God, yes.
Sleep issues. There's too much stress. People are just, their minds are going, they're on their computers too long and their screens that causes them not to sleep. It is like so much money in that market for sleep aids. And that's why those REM patches that Debbie's talking about are amazing. I have not personally tried them yet. I can't wait to try them. But, trying something that doesn't have any chemicals or anything in it, and, we could explain to you how that works. But the thing is, you got to get the sleep, because if you don't get the sleep, you're not going to get better.
Right. And I think this whole concept of us talking about just some of these issues, Lori talks about what she's got with that. When I'm standing a long time, during the day, I've had where my shoes have gotten tighter or my sandals have gotten tighter, and I've literally changed my shoes. But when I put those shoes on, they felt great. And I get what you're saying, because it's all like kind of, so I should probably during the day, if I get a minute, I should throw my feet up. I mean, and how silly is that? It's so simple, right? But do we do it? It's more, we have to practice what we preach, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm glad that you found a solution to help you, and I'm glad that we can help and talk for others.
Yes. We'll put some more information on Facebook.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any questions or want to know more about the REM patch, send us a message.
Yeah.
And we just want to make everybody the best versions of themselves. That's what our
Right.
whole platform is really about.
Right.
Like we've talked about, we started this when the pandemic started, and we
Right.
positive, and we're so excited to do this twice a week. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for Debbie and I to spend some time with each other, since we live miles apart. But we like being there talking to you too. And again, we appreciate any comments, and please send your friends to our Facebook page and stuff.
Absolutely.
Debbie, you have anything more to say?
I was just going to say, with it being summer fun, summer concerts, summer things, if anybody has any subjects, topics, anything that they want us to cover, or anybody that that you feel would be of value that we could actually interview, we're always loving to do that. And just reach out to Lori or I, or just send us a message, and we'll be loving to do that. And with that, Laura, why don't we close this out?
Okay, so you guys have a great day. We'll see you on Friday. And you know what? I'm Lori.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're friends helping friends. Take care, everyone.
That's great. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.